Chelsea are back. Chelsea are back. Oh my goodness. Now, they're back not because they made the Champions League and because they made it to the... That's all well and good. Chelsea are a good team. I think everyone knows that. But what we've just gotten finished watching from this game, it's not just Chelsea being a good side. That's a real statement to the Premier League.
Against all odds, Chelsea has silenced the storm of Paris and stunned the football world with an unforgettable 3-0 victory in the Club World Cup final. As underdogs, they faced a formidable Paris team that had just triumphed in the Champions League, and after demolishing Real Madrid 4-0, no one expected Chelsea to pull off the win. But in a display of complete dominance, Chelsea delivered a masterclass on the pitch, controlling every aspect of the game. Their victory was clinical, leaving Paris with no answer, and securing Chelsea's place in football history with this remarkable 3-0 triumph. Heading into the final, Chelsea was never considered the favorite. The football world had already crowned PSG as the champions in waiting. Paris was in the form of their lives, having dismantled Real Madrid in a jaw-dropping 4-0 victory. With star players firing on all cylinders, it seemed inevitable that PSG would tear through Chelsea with ease.
Obviously, the Real Madrid that we faced objectively is not the best version of Real Madrid. But unfortunately for them, they faced the best version of PSG in ages. I believe we have the best squad in the world at the minute. I'm fully confident that we can win that trophy. I'm fully confident that we can smash Tottenham as well during the Super Cup. Not going to concede. I think it's going to be 3-0 PSG.
Experts and fans alike were convinced that PSG's superior strength, skill, and momentum would make them the dominant force. But what no one saw coming was Chelsea's resilience and their ability to rise to the occasion, proving the world wrong with an emphatic 3-0 victory. But then, out of nowhere, Cole Palmer emerged as the spark Chelsea needed. As PSG struggled to find their rhythm, looking increasingly lost and drained of energy, Palmer came alive, weaving through defenders and creating chaos in the final third. His presence was the game changer. Meanwhile, Chelsea's Moises Caicedo was a powerhouse in the midfield, constantly winning the ball and denying PSG any foothold in the game. Time and again, Caicedo set up fast, clinical counterattacks, and Chelsea kept pressing, with Palmer's brilliance leading the charge. It was a relentless wave of attacks, and PSG had no answer.
Chelsea, who are Club World Cup champions, it's been a heck of a season for them in the end under Enzo Maresca. Things definitely have gone their way, if we are counting this as an end of the season tournament, which many are. We have Alexis and Mark Ogden at the stadium for us. Frank LaBuffa is joining us as well, but let me start with you, Craig, because we were not expecting that from Chelsea tonight.
But let's see where the project of Chelsea is going to go after this massive win. Chelsea's win over PSG is not just a shock due to its on-field mechanics, but also due to off-field decisions. Chelsea was signing players at a very high pace. They had signed multiple players in the winter transfer window, as well as in the summer transfer window. With so many players in the locker room, the club had to find a solution, and it was getting tight. And even legend like Thiago Silva called this thing out.
Acho que o primeiro passo já foi dado, né? Por mais que errado, mas foi dado. Agora é a gente voltar esse passo e ver o que a gente fez de errado. Porque não basta a gente ficar olhando o treinador, a culpa é desse, a culpa é daquele, se a gente não assume as nossas responsabilidades, né? Eu acho que é um momento difícil para o clube, indefinição no início, mudança de proprietário, muitos jogadores chegando, tendo que aumentar até o vestiário porque não dava no vestiário todos os jogadores. Um ponto positivo é que você tem grandes jogadores no elenco, porém um ponto negativo é que alguém vai ficar chateado, alguém vai ficar para baixo, né? Porque nem todo mundo pode jogar.
Todd Bailey, despite the skepticism from many, remained fully confident in his vision for the project. He continued to back the team, making high-profile signings to strengthen Chelsea's squad. But it wasn't just the players that made a difference. Boehly also brought in a new manager, Enzo Maresca, who had been Pep Guardiola's assistant. Maresca, an excellent man-manager, used his experience at Manchester City's youth academy to reshape Chelsea. He brought in emerging talents from various academies while also sending sending players like Fofana on loan to maintain their development. Despite a disastrous mid-season plagued by injuries, Chelsea bounced back and ultimately secured a Champions League spot, solidifying their future as a force to be reckoned with.
I'm sure that Chelsea did something strange by signing many players in January and in the summer, and it was looking like surprising to see so many players added to the squad. Also, Thiago Silva was pointing out on that kind of situation, because it's not easy when you have many players in the dressing room at a big club like Chelsea. But I think this is part of the idea, the original idea they had, to refresh the squad, to bring in important talents, important players, and then to sell players at the right moment. You can't always have the results immediately in football. This is a long-term project. As Todd Boehly said ahead of the Real Madrid game, they want to do something special in the next years, not right now. So it's going to take some time. The summer is going to be crucial to offload some players, to send some players on loan. For example, David Datro Fofana joined in January and he's almost never playing. He's a young player. He needs to play.
Chelsea's scouting network proved to be spot on as they continued to bring in a wealth of talent, securing key players who made an immediate impact. Among them, players like Estevan Williams and João Pedro stood out. João Pedro, who recently joined from Brighton, was particularly impressive, hitting the ground running in his new role at center forward. In just 2 games, he scored 3 goals, showcasing his lethal finishing and proving to be a huge asset to the team. With such young, dynamic talent coming in and more to follow, Chelsea's future looked brighter than ever, and their squad depth continued to grow. Enzo Maresca has always maintained that Chelsea is heading in the right direction, despite the media's attempts to paint the club as a shadow of its former self, stuck in the past. Maresca firmly disagreed. He made it clear that this is not the same Chelsea of years gone by. This is a new era built on youth, modern tactics, and a fresh approach. His confidence in the project was unwavering, and he proved that vision was correct with Chelsea's stunning victory over PSG. The win wasn't just a triumph on the pitch, it was a statement, confirming that Chelsea is now a force to be reckoned with in world football once again.
Incoming Chelsea manager Enzo Maresca has addressed misconceptions surrounding the club, stating firmly, "The problem is that the press thinks it is the same Chelsea from years ago. It is not the same." Emphasizing a long-term vision, Maresca added, "It is about building something important. People have to trust us. We are going in the right direction." His comments signal a shift in strategy at Stamford Bridge, focusing on development, patience, and sustainable success. As Chelsea enters a new chapter under Maresca's leadership, expectations are being recalibrated to reflect a project-driven approach rather than immediate silverware.
But the question still remains, will Chelsea be able to make it big in the Premier League? The answer appears to be yes. Even when the players like Estevan Williams have not joined the team is performing at this level. What will happen when these talented young players will play together? There is a possibility that Nicholas Jackson will also leave the club along with Noni Madueke and Jadon Sancho, and that will also open up more space in the dressing room and things will get better. Now, the debate has begun over whether Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester City, and Arsenal will be going toe-to-toe for the Premier League title. In previous seasons, it was primarily a contest between Arsenal, Liverpool, and Manchester City, but with both City and Arsenal undergoing crucial stages of their revamps, the landscape is shifting. Chelsea, having bounced back from a tough period, is now showing that they'll be right in the mix as genuine contenders. With a refreshed squad and new leadership under Enzo Maresca, Chelsea's rise has been swift, and they've proven they are ready to challenge for the Premier League crown once again.
Chelsea are back. Chelsea are back. Oh my goodness. Now, they're back, not because they made the Champions League and because they made it to the... That's all well and good. Chelsea are a good team. I think everyone knows that. But what we've just gotten finished watching from this game, it's not just Chelsea being a good side. That's a real statement to the Premier League. That's a huge statement that this season, this little love triangle between City, Arsenal, and Liverpool over the last 3 seasons, of all 3 of them competing for the same crown, there will be a 4th contender this season. I'm fully convinced of it after what I've just seen tonight. I mean, it's been a brilliant tournament for Chelsea, as since that Flamengo defeat that they suffered on the 2nd match day in the group stage, they've gone from strength to strength to strength.
However, Chelsea still has a long way to go. With so many new signings, the challenge of balancing the squad is becoming evident. Players like Mudryk, Nkunku, and Dewey have struggled for regular minutes under Enzo Maresca, while the club also faces the issue of players on loan. Raheem Sterling and Jadon Sancho, both on loan at Chelsea, add to the headache as their futures remain uncertain. The club's financial and squad management is under the microscope, and if Chelsea wants to keep pace with the likes of Liverpool and Manchester City, City, they'll have to make some tough decisions. Offloading certain players will be key to maintaining squad harmony and freeing up resources to strengthen where needed.
You'd imagine they'd try and find a permanent solution for him to leave over the course of this summer. It's fascinating when you look at how many options Enzo Maresca has within that Chelsea setup. You get the feeling that they have to do some business, they have to sell players now, and that's something that they've certainly been very good at over the course of the last few windows.
While Chelsea continues to reinforce their squad, Mikel Arteta is quietly building something special at Arsenal. In the summer 2025 transfer window, Arsenal made some key signings that could elevate their squad to new heights. They brought in Kepa Arrizabalaga from Chelsea to strengthen their goalkeeping department. In midfield, Martin Zubimendi joined from Real Sociedad, adding depth and creativity. Christian Norgard arrived from Brentford, bringing experience and stability to the middle of the park. Up front, Victor Gyökeres made the move from Sporting Lisbon, offering Arsenal a fresh attacking option. Arteta's strategic signings suggest that Arsenal is poised to remain a formidable force in the league.
Yeah, I wanted to get much more versatility in the team, and especially to shift and drift positions and spaces in the way that I want to do it, and now we have the players to do that because they can adapt and glide between themselves. So yeah, hopefully we can see some other variations this year.
And with Declan Rice now into the club, is this something where you used to play with two more holding midfielders? Is this Declan, you can be protecting the back four, back three, and we can play with two more advanced midfielders with a Havertz and Odegaard? Is that something that you're focused on?
Now we have three very good holding midfielders with him, Thomas and Georgie.
Then there's Liverpool, who have also made some exciting additions to their squad. In the summer 2025 transfer window, they secured some highly promising signings. Georgi Mamardashvili was brought in from Valencia to bolster their goalkeeping options, while Jeremy Frimpong arrived from Bayer Leverkusen, adding pace and attacking threat to their right-back position. On the left side, Milos Kerkez joined from AFC Bournemouth, strengthening Liverpool's defensive depth. The biggest move, however, came with the acquisition of Florian Wirtz from Bayer Leverkusen, a highly talented attacking midfielder who is expected to make an immediate impact. With these fresh faces, Liverpool is clearly setting its sights on further success.
Wirtz would be a sensational signing. I think when you're talking about winning the league, what is it that improves you? I mean, the only thing that's going to improve you when you win the league is signing world-class players, or players that have got the potential to be world-class players. So signing Wirtz is fantastic. Frimpong, and then there's talk of Kerkez as well, deals with their right and left back situations. So to get those three done, if they were to get those three done quite quickly, would be smart business. But I wouldn't have expected anything else from Liverpool. Maybe slightly surprised that they've gone so heavy in on Wirtz in terms of the fee. They don't normally go that big, but Slot deserves it, by the way. He waited 12 months for a player to sign. They didn't sign anybody last summer, signing Chiesa, which was for very little money. So I think they've got 2 years of money tanked up and banked up there.
Manchester City too has embarked on a full squad revamp, making some bold moves in the summer 2025 transfer window. Among their key signings are Rayan Ait-Nouri from Wolverhampton Wanderers, who brings strength and versatility to their left-back position, and Rayan Cherki from Lyon, a dynamic attacking midfielder and winger with bags of potential. City also secured Tijani Reinders from AC Milan, adding depth and creativity to their midfield. Marcos Bettinelli, arriving from Chelsea, provides further competition for the goalkeeper spot. The club also made a major move in January, bringing in Omar Marmoush from Eintracht Frankfurt, though he will be eligible for the 2025-26 season. Other signings include Vitor Reis from Palmeiras, Kuzanov from Lens, Claudio Echeverri from River Plate, Juma Ba from the City Football Group, Kevin Sullivan from Philadelphia Union, and Sverre Nypen from Rosenborg. With these strategic additions, Manchester City is clearly preparing for another era of dominance.
I would like that. I know what we have done at that team. I know it. So it's not enough. But recognize my team. The last 2 games in the Premier League, Newcastle and today, were brilliant both. And Madrid was not good enough for the both games to try to go through. But the pace that today, the rhythm and the pressing and the solidarity for most of them playing in difficult positions. And yeah, they approved it and it was really good.
After Chelsea's stunning 3-0 victory over PSG in the Club World Cup final, it's clear that the club is on the right path under the leadership of Enzo Maresca. The team has been revitalized with a mix of youth, experience, and smart acquisitions, setting a solid foundation for future success. Chelsea's performance against PSG showcased their resilience, tactical discipline, and the strength of their squad. However, while the club is making strides, the Premier League will be an entirely different challenge. With teams like Arsenal, Liverpool, and Manchester City also reinforcing their squads, the competition at the top is only going to intensify. Arsenal's savvy signings, Liverpool's exciting acquisitions, and Manchester City's full-scale revamp make them all formidable contenders. Chelsea will need to stay consistent, manage their squad effectively, and ensure that their new signings integrate well into the system. The journey ahead will be tough, but with the right approach, Chelsea can challenge for the Premier League title and continue their upward trajectory. The battle for supremacy in England is now more competitive than ever, and Chelsea's task is to prove that they belong in the conversation with the best. What do you think of Chelsea's rise under Enzo Maresca? Do you believe they have what it takes to challenge for the Premier League title this season, especially with the fierce competition from Arsenal, Liverpool, and Manchester City? How do you rate their recent signings, and which player do you think will have the biggest impact on their campaign? Are Chelsea's squad depth and tactical discipline enough to keep up with the established giants of the Premier League, or will they face more challenges as the season progresses? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop your comments below.